And you can, of course, add your pillow, something to support your head and your neck and your legs. Suppose you could even do legs up the wall instead of legs on the chair, but this is the most chillax. The most relaxing choice is legs on the chair. We'll be doing a few things while we're here with arms. So yeah, but you could, if you were like, oh, I just really need legs up the wall, then you could do that. You could choose that instead. We've got some wild weather for our beginning of spring. I did find this sweet little quote. And I actually don't know who it's from, but it's called Welcome Spring. Let's see if there's somebody. Flora Childs, I think is what it says. Okay, thank you, Flora Childs. Welcome to spring and all the newness this season brings. It's rain, daffodils, sunshine, and thunder. It's warmth, color, and a breath of fresh air. It's little buds and birds chirping. All life crawls out of hibernation and our hearts open. This is pretty. I always feel like spring is a bigger deal on the East Coast, right? Because they're still getting snow and it's really cold. But after our winter, which has felt pretty real for us, we can count and look forward to some real spring. And make sure your arms are resting in a way that feels comfortable. Your shoulders can relax. Enjoy the support of the earth, of your chair or the wall, and your pillow. Noticing your inhales and exhales. And each time your mind wanders, because it may do that, you just lovingly guide it back, watching and observing, feeling and sensing your breath. Notice if your shoulders could relax anymore, or your feet or hands, your jaw, anywhere that is a place of tension for you. You could just remind yourself that it's okay to relax here. And maybe the next few breaths can be fuller, not forcing, but just inviting a deeper breath. And bring your hands to touch in front of your heart. Grateful for spring. I'm grateful for today. Grateful for each other. I'm grateful for this practice. Let's send some love out from our hearts out into the world. You might think of a specific person or place. And when you're ready, release your arms. You can take them out in a T. And we'll start moving the head left and right, just any amount. You're not trying to get to the end of the range, just moving in a way that feels good. Continue side to side or pause on one side, taking a couple of full breaths. And come through center and second side. and back to center. And bring your arms by your sides. You can take single, one arm at a time, or both arms, reaching up and over, and then back down. And you might inhale, reach up, and exhale down. You're more than welcome to change that breath pattern. Just notice that the breath feels good and that the reaching of your arms feels good. Finish the one you're on, and you can take one more. And come back to stillness, arms in a T or in Shavasana. Take a few breaths with awareness on your neck and on your shoulders. Take your right arm up and over and turn your head to the left, turning away from the arm. We'll take a breath here, full inhale and exhale. And then we'll switch. Left arm up and over, turn your head to the right, and take a full breath here. Inhale and exhale. Switch. Looking left, right arm up and over. Full breath cycle. And switch. Full breath cycle. And then we'll do one more each way. Looking away from the arm that's up and over. Bring your arms back down. So we are going to take thread the needle. We can use our chair or our prop. If you're with legs up the wall, you might have to scoot your bottom away from the wall a little bit. Depends on the hips. So we'll start with the right leg on top. Here, I've just taken right leg on top. Left leg is still resting on my chair. If you want to change that, you can move the left leg to be at a different part of your chair, or you can ignore the chair and hold the legs, creating any variation of thread the needle that feels good to you right now. You might like to take a few breaths out of the mouth, sighing, letting go. And add in a few ankle circles with your right foot. Just a couple in each direction, nice and slow. Let your foot rest and then scrunch and spread the toes a couple of times. And let the foot rest completely. 3 more breaths on this side. Release the right leg. Switch sides. Any variation of thread the needle. You don't have to do the same thing on both sides. You can do whatever feels good on this side. My right leg can rest on the chair, or I can bring the legs closer to my body using the support of the chair, or even holding the leg. Audible exhales. They sometimes feel just right when you're stretching the hip, so maybe a few of those. And we'll add in a few ankle circles, each direction, nice and slow. Let the foot rest, then to the toes. Scrunch and spread out. Couple more times, scrunching, spreading. And let the foot completely rest. And taking this shape for 3 more breaths. Okay, we're going to come from our chair or legs up the wall to one side into fetal pose. So move mindfully. Make sure your chair is not in your way. And you can add extra pillow under your head if you'd like. And when you arrive on your side, you might just straighten your top leg out. And you can take it back. My chair is in the way, but I can gently, little tiny move of the chair. but just straightening the leg out of that seated shape. And you can reach your arm up and over, just stretching the whole side body. And take a few breaths here. If it's too much with the arm up and over, you can bring it back and then reach it, moving in and out of the shape. Couple more breaths here. Long leg, long arm, long breath. And come back into fetal pose. One more full breath here, and then you'll roll carefully to your other side. Be mindful of your prop. If your chair is in the way, you may have to scoot the legs in to make your way to the second side. Once you get situated on your second side, you can straighten your top leg. Maybe it reaches back a little bit, just kind of opening in front of hip, thigh, and then if it's comfortable, arm up and over. You can move it in and out of that shape or just take it up and leave it up and over. Nice breaths into your side body. At the bottom of your next exhale, release arm, bend the leg, pausing in fetal pose. Big full breath in and out. Big move ahead. Come to hands and knees, tabletop. To give an option, we're going to take a few cats and cows, then child's pose. If you'd like to skip the cats and cows, you certainly can. You could just come right to child's pose. Otherwise, add some cushion if you want under your knees. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, toes curled under or not. And again, we link the breath with the movement, but you find your breath. So maybe it's inhale for cow and exhale for cat. Inhale and exhale. Move with your breath. One or two more rounds. You can bring yourself to child's pose. Adding cushions, adding whatever you need to let this pose be comfortable. And if it's not comfortable to be in this folded shape, you can stretch yourself all the way out onto your belly, crocodile pose. Child's pose or crocodile. And while you're here breathing, I'll invite you to think of your favorite flower. Taking some breaths, maybe sensing the smell of the flower. And thinking about the beautiful color or colors of your flower. And where your flower might be located. It can be in your yard or a field, in a mountainside. And taking a few more breaths here, a little rest. At the bottom of your next exhale, you'll begin to come up, and we're going to come to seated in our chair. Just have a couple of things seated, taking a little adventure today from the ground to the side body to table to seated. One thing standing and then back down. So we'll be ready for bed yoga on Thursday. I suppose if you did not want to sit in a chair right now, you could sit on the ground. I definitely prefer the chair for this, but you could do it on the ground. You're going to feel your seat grounded and your feet grounded. You can take just a couple shoulder rolls. And then your whole torso. Couple Sufi rolls. Switching direction. And coming back to neutral, we'll take the legs wide, turn the feet out. You can come forward in the chair a little bit, and you can go as wide as you'd like with the legs. That might just be a little bit, maybe feeling a stretch in the inner thighs. And we'll take the arms up, big inhale, reach up, and exhale to your heart. And again, inhale up. Exhale, heart. And one more. Inhale up. And exhale to your heart. You can press the arms into the legs and the legs press back. The legs want to do this and the arms are resisting that. So it's a work, a lovely little amount of work for legs and arms. Don't forget to breathe. One more breath. And you release the arms. You can keep the legs wide or bring them back to neutral. We'll take a gentle twist. The legs wide will make the twist a little more intense. So it's kind of happy medium, not too wide and not all the way back. Feels kind of good. See what feels good to you. Looking over your back shoulder or anywhere else. And breathing from the ground up. Nice, long, full breaths. Bottom of your next exhale, back to center, both arms reaching up, inhale, exhale, heart, twisting second side. Maybe seeing which shape feels good for the legs. And then notice where you're looking, keeping the neck happy. Come back to center. Bring the legs closer back to neutral. Big in-breath, reaching up. And exhale to your heart. And repeating, thread the needle. We'll take the right leg on top. So you can take this cross leg shape, or you can bring the ankle. I just go just past the ankle. So any thread the needle shape here, seated. And you can lean forward if you'd like, or stay upright. Let your arms and shoulders relax. And even here, you might take an audible exhale. Coming back up tall. One more breath here. Switching sides. Checking in. What feels right on this side? Staying tall or leaning forward. Inviting an audible exhale if you'd like. And releasing and pausing. Palms up or down. Taking a few breaths here, connecting. And you may choose to stay here seated, connecting with your breath, or we have just one thing for balance, standing. Coming up, and you can use your chair or the wall. Taking your Tadasana mountain pose. Standing on one leg and hovering the other foot. That's it, a hover. I say that's it, but it is a good amount of work. And you can play with leaving your prop. If you're bored, close your eyes. Breathe and smile. And switch sides when you're ready. Couple more breaths. This side is really bothering me today. And release. You can have your chair handy. We'll eventually get back to legs on the chair, but for now, we'll come back down to tabletop, hands and knees for one move, and then resting. Finding the shape again, shoulders above wrists, hips above knees, and a few more cats and cows. And they may feel different now after the movements that we've done. Toes can be curled under or not. And breath in and out. One more round, and then you'll choose child's pose or stretching out onto your belly. Breathing into the back body. Full inhales and exhales. A few more breaths in your shape, resting. And you decide slowly you'll come up and come onto your back. You can again take legs on the chair or legs up the wall. And then we will end up in traditional Shavasana, but you can always choose to stay with your legs elevated if that's feeling great. It just would have you be there, for a bit of time, kind of an extended Shavasana, but that can really be nice and soothing as well. Otherwise, legs up the wall or legs on your chair, and then we'll move to Shavasana. We're going to do a breathing exercise while we're here once you get settled. Once you're comfortable, bring your arms into cactus shape. If this feels like too much, try the T arms. And we're just taking full breaths, but we're noticing maybe some stretch across the front of the shoulders, the chest. Slide your arms into the T shape. Again, full and steady inhales and exhales, but perhaps a little more awareness underneath your armpits, in your rib cage. And slide your arms down into the shape of Shavasana. full inhales and exhales. But notice any movement in the belly. The belly may rise and fall, but you are not trying to create a poof in the belly. Just let your body breathe. If you feel 1,000,000% comfortable, you may stay right where you are for your Shavasana, or you can move very slowly and gently. It's a little tricky, I know, to move the prop, so you may choose to stay, or maybe a little scoot asana. Your legs could go under your chair or around the chair. Please do what you need to create a place that feels good to rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Maybe take a gentle sigh out of your mouth. You can wiggle fingers, toes. And stretch maybe arms, legs, depending on the shape that you're in. And you can stay on your back or roll to your side. The pose of new beginnings, fetal pose, just like spring. So we're planting the seeds, we're ready to enjoy the flowers, we're grateful for the rain, and we're ready for the sunshine. Bring yourself up to sit. And let your hands touch at your heart center. Thank you for practicing today. Thank you for being here. Thank you, ladies.